Unsolved.
Zodiac killer case, the cipher, the compass, and the map. The cipher. I agree with this translation of the cipher's message that it reads, estimate 4 radians and 5 inches. And the reason it estimates because radians is a irrational number and it keeps going. Now also you have to approximate the distance, unfortunately, because of the scale on the map. If you see there, it says scale 1 inch equals approximately 6.4 miles. And so 5 inches would be 32 miles. The compass. So first note the little image of the compass on the top left-hand side, and then note that this is a protractor, not a compass, and it measures degrees. And we're using the inner numbers, the blue ones. And so to figure out radians, we put this on there, and we can see it's kind of pointing at 60 degrees, and that's because it's not set properly. So now it's on the crosshairs. The wedge has to be right on the crosshairs to get an accurate measurement. And now you can see that 1 radian is about 57 degrees. The map. Now the Zodiac wrote on their crosshairs, and he put 0, 3, 6, and 9. And it says 0 is set to be to magnetic north, but it's not set to magnetic north, his drawing. So you have to turn the map about 15 degrees this way right here. Now it's set to magnetic north. Okay, here is a map of the area, and there's Mount Diablo. And so here's the protractor on the crosshairs on Mount Diablo. And now what I'm going to do is show you the radians and the distance to each crime scene. So first up is Lake Herman Road. And so I'm going to put my protractor on the crosshairs of Mount Diablo. And then you can see that it's 2.4 radians, which is about 138 degrees. So keep in mind that we have to turn it 15 degrees. So we add 15 degrees to the 138 and we get 153 degrees. And there is the Zodiac circle and the X where that crime took place, or the direction that that crime took place when you look at the crosshairs. Now next up is the Blue Rock Springs crime scene, and it's 22.6 miles off in the direction of radians 2.3, or 131 degrees. And then we add 15 degrees to that, and there it is. And it's in the same location, or approximate location, as the mark, the X on the Zodiac's crosshairs. Next up, Lake Berryessa, and it's more towards north, and it's 52.44 miles away from Mount Diablo. And we set the protractor on Mount Diablo, and it's 110 degrees, which is radians 1.9. And we add 15 degrees because we're looking magnetic north to the right a little bit, and we get 125 degrees, or radians 2.18. And here's the X on the Zodiac's crosshairs, indicating that direction on his compass. Now we come to the crime that was near the Presidio in San Francisco, and you can see that it's 31.1 miles away from Mount Diablo. And I have to admit, I made a mistake on the previous video about the direction. So now we place the protractor at Mount Diablo, and it's more than 180 degrees, so we turn the protractor upside down and we get 187 degrees. And then we add our 15 degrees, and you can see here the X on Zodiac's crosshairs. Okay, now here's the map pointing to magnetic north, and then here's the Zodiac's crosshairs with the X marking the scenes of the crime. And then the blue line is going out to Lake Berryessa. The red line is heading out towards Lake Herman Road and Blue Rock Springs Park. The green line is unknown. And then the yellow arrow is pointing towards the Presidio in San Francisco. And then the black line or arrow is pointing south to San Jose, California. And 32 miles would put you at Moffett Field Naval Air Station in 1968 or 9. While creating this video, two profiles came to my mind for the Zodiac killer. One being a Korean War veteran, and that would place him born around 1930. And the radians and the coordinates and all that is because the Korean War, there was a lot of hilltops and artillery, and they probably used this kind of terminology. And then also maybe a sniper in the Vietnam War, in the beginning, early years of the Vietnam War, and that would put him born around 1940. In the scope on the rifle, you have to make adjustments and so with degrees and direction and the night attacks. So that's just my thoughts. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and next week we'll be up on top of a hilltop with a compass, and that should be a cool episode. See ya.